Shit. We're just getting stuff started to anyone watching. Getting everything set up. I have a, what do you call it? I have this. I could have put this on. But that's okay. Checking my camera settings. All right. That looks like it's going okay. All right, let's do some work. I'm going to work on this G. I may want a different pair of pliers for this. These Xerons are a little too narrow, so I'm some flat, wide rings. See if that helps. These, whenever you change pliers, it always feels so different. This goes down straight for quite a while, so I'm just going to make a strip of this, what do you call it? It's aluminum, but it's there's a word for it. So there's AA, which is anodized aluminum, and BA, which is what I'm working with, but I forget what it's called. What the heck is the B in BA? Man, that is eluding me right now. Oh my gosh, what a brain fart. So in chainmail, there's stainless steel and sterling silver. Of course, they both have SS as their acronym. And like I said, anodized aluminum. Bright. Bright. The word is bright that I'm looking for. It's bright aluminum. So we have anodized aluminum and bright aluminum. last time I worked on this, I outlined all the letters in black. What else? I replaced all the gold. I had a different paler gold in there, and it was all different colors, because if you're making an inlay, you should ensure that you order all the rings you're going to need at one time. That way they're all from this, ideally from the same batch and all similar color. Like, if you look closely at the green, you can see the green is all different colors, right? And that's because I didn't order it all in one batch. And there's a ton of green, and so it's just going to be patchy. I have some dark, some light, you know, whatever. It's not going to... I'm not going to take all the green apart and replace it. So that's part of why it's going to stay patchy. All right, where am I at here? Okay. So I started on this long time ago, back in almost 2 decades ago, so 2005, 2006. And originally, it's based off a t-shirt design of a bar in Alexandria, Louisiana, called Finnegans Wake. Finnegans Wake is also a book. I have never read the book. But they had this design for a t-shirt. I was like, still pretty new to chainmail at the time. I would definitely do things different if I was just starting this project than how I did it 20 years ago. For example, I didn't do any prep work on this, right? I didn't count out how many rings I would need. I didn't count out how many, or I didn't count out how many rings I would need of each color, right? I didn't design a pattern. I just did what I had done with every other inlay, which was, they were all much simpler back then. A quarter of this size, right? And it was like a Green Bay Packers logo, a University of Michigan design, Texas Longhorns design, all for friends of mine, some I'd grown up with, some in the military. The Longhorns one actually turned out really good. The Green Bay one, not so much. The University of Michigan one was okay. But I never planned those out. I didn't graph them out on paper. There is a program called Inlay Grid Pattern that you can design an inlay on, and then it will give you the ring count of each color that you need. But I was too lazy to do that, so. And I don't know if I knew about it at the time I started this inlay. I probably did. Like I said, I didn't use it, so. This ring is not in the right place. Another thing that I did wrong was picking 18 gauge 1/4 inch rings and using European 6-in-1 to make an inlay with. It's not, as you can see, it clearly works, right? But it's very difficult to pattern out, especially when you're freehanding something. Oh, I can hear my son screaming. He's supposed to be in bed. Wonder why he's not in bed. So, an ideal ring size for inlays, for chainmail inlays, if you're ever going to make them, is 18 gauge 5/32. It's almost a 1-to-1 pixel. Does that make sense? So if you have 1 pixel, you have 1 ring. I didn't know that when I started making inlays. And I haven't made many. I'm not an expert at this. I'm just a foolhardy soul who decided to get in way over his head and take 20 years to work on a project when I should have had this done years ago. Do I sell those chain cubes? No, I don't. The one that I just recently finished up is old rings that I couldn't use that I was trying to just make something out of to get rid of them instead of throwing them away. That's a pretty sick work, dude. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate that. What's up there? This is down here. Okay, we're all green down here. All the way across. Would I sell a small cube? I don't have a small cube for sale. And I don't have the means with which to make another cube right now. So the best way to go about getting a cube is talking to a girl. What does she posts on TikTok as Mother of Dragons, and she has some small cubes available. She's another chainmail artist on here if you're looking specifically for the cube. So I'm currently not really in the process of making stuff to sell. I'm trying to use up all my rings in the basement. Yes, please check her out. And if that doesn't work, there is you can download the Mailworks app in my link tree, and there is a list of chainmail artists on there inside the app. And you can contact any of them. They might be able to work with you as well. So that's the best route to getting something, just because these are all really old rings and old projects and just stuff I'm trying to finish up. So I don't have rings that I've purchased for specific projects, and I don't have any rings that would work for a cube right now that I don't already have a plan for. I just come on here, I work on my projects, I show people what chainmail is, and try to convince them that it's the greatest thing in the world and their life would be empty without it. So they need to start learning how to do it. So if you start making chainmail after you view this video, I'm not sorry. You're welcome. Excuse me. Oh, man. Oh. Zinc Deficiency 69. Thank you for the follow. Oh, I need some cold ease cough drops. It has zinc in them, right? Oh my gosh. I need to loosen this up a little bit so I can work in the middle here. User 55651117960003. Thank you for the follow. Those numbers are... That's really hard to do. Excuse me. Yeah, so I built the Mailworks app as a place for chainmail artists to kind of have a collective where you can go through and search through a bunch of different ones, trying to add more as often as I can. And for new people to have a way to get started, it's like, bam, there's all the resources that I am aware of and got permission to use listed in the app. And it's also good for veteran chainmail artists because, you know, it's a great place to just have in your phone to check out, you know, if you forget where listing for or what a website name is or something, right? Like, it's not too detailed. Like, I don't have a breakdown of tutorials or anything, but I have sites where you can find tutorials. Forums, groups where you can find other people to ask questions of, right? Like, if I made tutorials, I would put them in there, but I don't. I leave that to people who are better at that type of stuff than me. I just try to point people in their direction. And of course, it's linked to my store where you can find all your chainmail themed apparel and accessory needs. And that helps support me and the work that I do. But mostly it's just to help out new people. It's like, because you could join any number of chainmail communities and you would, you might not discover another one, but if you download the app, there's like 5-6 communities that exist. Is this all green? No. Okay. Oh, I think I screwed up. I think this is some of this is supposed to be gold. I was looking at this opening up here on, like, this is what I'm working off of, right? Because I didn't plan it out and properly grid out an inlay, which you don't have to grid out every inlay or anything, right? However, this is fairly complicated with all the swirls and lines crossing each other, right? Like, there's a lot going on here, and I definitely should have graphed it out or done some prep work on it, but I loathe prep work. So one of my projects coming up in the future one day maybe when I'm TikTok famous, is to design a program where you can upload a picture and then adjust it so that you get the ring size you want to use, the number of rings, the number of each color of ring, right? And then just randomly around. Thank you for the follow. I really screwed this up, didn't I? Okay, so we're coming down here this way. In this little loop that I'm working on this G here, right, this loop down here, there's a bunch of minute details that I gotta try and pay attention to. But yeah, so get famous, get rich, design a program where you can just upload a photo of whatever you want to design, and then it spits out your whole design that you need, so that people aren't prevented from doing prep work. I just want to make it easy for them. I don't want people to say, oh, you know, that's impossible. I want people to say, oh, I can do that. Because at the end of the day, what I'm doing is no different than pixel art or perler beads or, you know, very simple stuff that it's not rocket surgery. I think people get they hype themselves out of being able to get into a very enjoyable hobby. So they see something that looks complicated and they don't understand how simple it really is. We're going to see if I can get any productive work done. So far, no bueno. This is going down. All right, and I apologize for my voice. I almost died yesterday of, I don't know if it's a weather change or allergies or a cold, but the weather changed. We got a new puppy, and so my allergies kicked in, and I've just been hot garbage the last 2 days. Yesterday and today. I would have gone live last night, but I did not have the energy. It's like when you spent all day just sitting around sneezing, it takes a lot out of you. So yeah, so I don't know if I have a cold or if it's allergies from the new puppy or what, but this isn't, and it's not a situation where it's either me or the dog either. I can't leave. I'm stuck here, so I have to become unallergic to the dog really quickly. He's very cute, even if it is his fault that I'm sneezing. So that comes down here, and this goes under. Where does it go back up? The end of the A? Okay, so I need to connect these 2 points here. How are we gonna do that and make it look correct? A lot of this freehanding really is just trying to put as many rings in the right place and then hitting enhance over and over and over again and reweaving a whole bunch of stuff until it looks correct. Right? So, and that took me a long time to realize and move past. I had another inlay I finished last year. It was the Raiders logo. I'm not a Raiders fan or anything, but a friend of mine is in high school, and I'd made 2 other friends an inlay, so I made him an inlay of his favorite football team. Even if it is the Raiders, you know, I'll give the guy a break. He's a pretty good friend. So I got that one done last year, and a lot of it was just working on it, screwing it up, going back, fixing it, screwing it up again, you know, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. So I need to finish this so I can get it off of my desk because it takes up too much space. So we're either running out of rings on this project or finishing it. Got quite a ways to go. I'd say we have half. We have half the... We're halfway done at this point. This comes out fairly straight across. I don't know why. So the music is from the Pretzel Rock app on Streamlabs. And for some reason, that is the only thing posting in my comments on Streamlabs is Pretzel Rock, announcing what song it's playing. Big section. I gotta remove a big section in this over here, but we'll get to that in a bit. There's some more black. I keep thinking of what is his name? Officer... The mustache guy from Super Troopers. I haven't seen that movie in forever. But they're in the office and he's talking to the chief and he's clicking on the computer. Enhance. Enhance. enhance, right? That's basically what I'm trying to do. One ring at a time. Which is not the right way to go about it. Let me make that very clear. See my picture here. Okay. So this comes straight down. This is large. Okay. There's a gold that comes over the top here. Gold that goes under over here, and another strand that kind of goes down here. It's very we'll see how possible it is to get it to look anything similar to the picture when when we get done. But we're gonna lay down a bunch of rings and then we'll improve upon it. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill this row with gold over to where I know the gold ends. And then I'll try and take out the gold rings and place the black rings, and then we'll adjust as necessary. But yeah. When this is rolled up, it's not small, and it's just been over on the side of my desk taking up space for forever. I'm far enough along in other projects that I feel okay working on this. Even if it's going to take a long time. I need to move that over one. Nope. I was right the first time. I just need to add another black ring. Should probably take that one out. We'll do that in a second. I don't like doing things this way. I think it's been one of the biggest hurdles for me to overcome was sitting down and figuring out a process for drudging through this. So and now that I've started it, usually I pick a project and then that is the project I work with until it's done. I don't usually switch up projects. I think that kind of drives away people watching because they get tired of looking at the same thing all the time, and then some other people enjoy just hanging out. And I don't know what this music is, but it's awful and needs to go. Give it a thumbs down. How do I do that? Where's the thumbs down button? Skip it. Good Lord, that was awful. My apologies to everyone's ears. Alright, where am I at here? Right, so I usually pick a project and then work on it for a long period of time until it's done. Or as much as I can make it done. And some people enjoy it. They enjoy just hanging out, seeing a small amount of work get done on a given project. But not everyone likes to watch, multiple hours of me working on the same thing over and over and over again. And I do try to get stuff done during the day. So this is a big project. I'd like to see it through. I'd like to stick with it until it's done. Right? So we'll see how that goes. Like already I can tell I need to get 3, move this ring over here, switch it out. And that would kind of make it, that would look better. Alright, what ring was I looking at? So I don't want to throw the rings that I've bought for many of these projects away. Because that would be wasteful. But I also don't want to spend the rest of my life trying to work through all of these projects and never getting to anything new. That's the drawback. 'Cause I could be making stuff for sale. Make sure I grab the right ring here. I could spend all my time just designing stuff for my store, which I need to do more of. Got a design I'm working on that's given me quite the headache. It's very large and my computer can't handle it, really. So I upgraded computers not that long ago. Yeah. And I have a decent laptop, 32 gigs of RAM. It's a Dell G7, not terrible. But it is just not powerful enough. So I need a desktop. We've kind of fixed this edge here. Move on to can we move on to the next row yet? No. No, we're not quite there. This is part of the, fill it in and then make it look right afterwards. Does that look better? You gotta just lean back and look at it cross-eyed and see if it looks like the picture that you're working from. Only kind of. All right, where are we at here? Okay. So I kind of need to take. See that. This line goes from thin to thick. So we're tapering up. We're graduating up in width of this line, this loop on this G. Excuse me. I apologize to everyone. Oh man, I don't know if my allergies are still killing me from yesterday, or if I do have a cold. Oh. Let's see here. What is the final ring count going to be? I have no idea. I didn't map this out, so I've been kind of explaining. This is all being freehanded. So I don't know off the top of my head. I don't even know how many rings are in it at this point. What you see here is about half. I really picked a bad ring size for this. Uh-oh. And it doesn't translate well to what I'm trying to use it for. It works, right? It just takes a lot of effort, especially if you're like me and don't like doing prep work. This is ridiculous. How large it is I gotta turn the whole thing around just to weave a ring into it. It's fine. We'll get. Oh, that doesn't want to. Why doesn't that want to comply? Get in there. How many rings is? It's too many, to be honest. And this isn't. Like, this is European 6-in-1, right? It's a little more difficult than European 4-in-1, but not by much, right? There's a inlay of Starry Night, the Van Gogh piece, in Moorish Rose, which is it's a beautiful, complex, very advanced weave that I've never figure it out. I tried, and I don't think I had the right ring size. But, so, yeah. Moorish Rose inlay of Starry Night by Lisa Ellis. She goes by The Armorer's Wife on YouTube. And she has several tutorials on there. And she's listed in the Mailworks app. But it's easily the second coolest inlay. She worked on Starry Night for 2.5 years? Yeah. It's one of the craziest inlays I've ever seen. Easily an inlay heavyweight champion. Okay, that goes from thin to thick. Something's wrong up here. Need to swap this out. You hang out in the big Facebook group and sometimes post and way too busy lately? Sure. I understand that. Not gold, bright aluminum. There's another inlay, and it is just a inlay of a tapestry of a painting from a book of hours, a medieval book of hours, right? And that's pretty sure it's 400,000 rings, and that's only, what am I making? I'm making a flag that says Finnegans Wake on it. Finishing up a 20-year-old project. Sorry, David, I didn't see your question. Excuse me. I'm attempting to make it. I'm really screwing up, though, tonight. I'm gonna... kind of made this line, and then it was way too jacked up for me to continue. Now I'm trying to fix it, and it's kind of working. This is why we do our prep work, guys. Saves us time, energy, and money. Yeah. Oh, but where was I? Yeah. So, largest tapestry that I'm aware of is, I forget the name of it, but it's a tapestry inlay of a page out of a medieval book of hours, which is like a prayer book of the Duke of someplace. Anyway, I made a video about it a while back, and I don't remember how many years that guy worked on it or how many hours it was, but even that is still 4-in-1. As opposed to Starry Night, which is this weave called Moorish Rose, and it's a very pretty weave. So this isn't all that crazy. It's not hundreds of thousands of rings. It's a lot of rings, but By no means, I wouldn't even think I'd be in the top 100 of large inlays. How does that look? That's looking better. Where's that? That is that. Did I just put in there? Do I need to move that over here? What is the issue here? I need to take that out. So, if you are interested in learning how to make chainmail and you learn how to make it and you decide to make an inlay, please, please, please don't be like me. Graph out your project, map it out, know how many rings you'll need, have your design ready to go so that you can just look, pick up a ring, and place it exactly where it needs to be instead of doing what I'm doing, which is just a really poor way to go about doing this. Okay. That's kind of looking at the picture here. I could have gone over a little farther, but holy crap, I got comments that I haven't even seen. Where are we at? Someday I will make a Starry Night. Lisa follows an artist that did another painter's piece that was 5 times the size. It's 4 foot. Yeah, that's the tapestry I'm talking about. Yeah, okay. That's why you started your trying your hand at inlays? Yeah, John, no, I get it. That one's... Like, I'm pretty good at making chainmail, okay? I've done my share of weaving rings. There are people who are 10 times the artist I am. And I hope that by doing what I'm doing here, you will get to see some of their work one day. This is all... What time is it? Well, it's already 10 o'clock. 10 till anyway. For anyone watching, right, just this little section right here, to not even to get it right. I wouldn't call this correct. I'll probably make some adjustments later on. But just to do that much has taken an hour so far. It even takes more time when you don't weave the rings you're weaving correctly. Come on. That. All right, there we go. I haven't worked with these pliers in a while, so all the rings are, like, my grip's not quite right. G-Bands, thank you for the share. Okay, that kind of looks like our image. It's not, this isn't as swoopy as I thought I was going. But it's, I guess we're not done going this way yet. Are we? Not if we do this. Okay. What are some other? There's a few large inlays that I need to make. I want to make videos on. I don't need to, but you know, for content's sake, I definitely want to. Lisa Ellis's Moorish Rose Starry Night inlay. Right. I forget the guy's name, but he did giant Maryland scale mail Maryland flag. Right. It's pretty cool. Joshua Bracken, also listed on the Mailworks app, runs brackenmail.com, has a very large MIA KIA flag that he did. And as a vet that's lost other soldiers to war, I really like that one. I'm trying to think of if I can think of offhand any other really large inlays. But those are the big ones that I know of, and I'll do videos on them eventually. I haven't sat down to collect the info on each one. And there's other chainmail art out there, and I just make videos on this stuff to kind of show people like what you can make out of it, because I know. Oh, hey, sorry, I'm missing comments here. The Raiders flag was me. Unless someone else did a large Raiders flag. But, I need to go and make more videos about stuff you can make with chainmail. That's the whole point of my channel, really. Right? So I want to show people what you can make out of it, and it's one of those mediums that you're just limited by your imagination. You can make pretty much anything you want. Like, I mean, you couldn't make a can opener, right? But you could cover a can opener in chainmail. I don't know why you do that, but you can make pictures like the one I'm making now. You can make sculptures, and you can make static and non-static pieces. So, I mean, it really is just, it's a well-rounded medium with which to spend your hours doing. Excuse me. Like, there are some people who focus solely on one aspect, like people who only do inlays, people who only do jewelry, people who only do sculptures. Like, there's a girl here in Wisconsin who makes little animals, little ducks and stuff. Oh, man. Was that? Probably need to take that out. We'll focus more on that later. I think we need... Excuse me. I apologize to everyone's ears. I think I need to start looping this back around. I really hope that I just have a cold and that I'm not allergic to the new dog. But I was sneezing up a storm yesterday, and today it's moved into my chest, and I don't know if it's all the talking or what, but this is the worst coughing I've done so far, so it's not too bad, but hoping it's just a cold and I can supplement my way out of it with fluids and vitamins and minerals and all that good stuff. I never thought that my overhead camera would be too close, but clearly, I mean, it barely fits in a quarter of my workspace here. That's funny. Excuse me. I'm so sorry for sniffing and coughing in everyone's ears. Put a little more gold in here and see if we can't start to make sense of some of this. And who knows? I hope tomorrow when I come down here to work on this, I don't look at it and go, oh, I need to undo all the work that I did. It's clearly wrong and tear it all apart, but that could happen. Like, it looks okay, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I had someone ask me the other day why I wasn't adding 2 rows at a time on a different project. And I do not have the patience to sit and like close a bunch of rings in order to go and speed up my weaving. So I just, especially for what I'm doing right now, when I get to the green section where I'm just working on the green spaces, I might do that. Right. But for what I'm doing right now, it's one ring at a time is pretty much all I can focus on. And I've tried all the speed weaving techniques you can imagine, and none of them really make me any faster. I think I need a breathing treatment. Get a little nebulizer action before I go to bed. Alright, so that kind of looks right. Thank you for the follow, Grilby. Only one only one that makes it faster is confident practice. That's my thoughts on it as well. But some people have the patience to close a bunch of rings, you know, and try to make the weaving go faster. But at the end of the day, you're still picking up a ring and putting it down. So, I don't know. I average, when I was making, working on the titanium jelly cube the other day, right? I was averaging, no, it wasn't that. Was it that? I don't remember which one it was, if it was that or the dice bag that I was working on. It was one of them. But I was averaging about 200 rings an hour. And I think that if I was just working on a flat sheet of European 4-in-1, I could probably go faster than that. But I don't know. I figure 200 rings an hour is pretty good. But for this, where it's like, okay, do I put the ring here? Do I put the ring there? Right? It's... Excuse me. I am personally better off with just doing one ring at a time. I think I'm going to finish out this row. This cough is really starting to bother me. And it's getting to be about the time I need to go. And for you, it wasn't always patience, but time and focus to weave versus just make progress towards a finished piece in time and place possible. When you were in college, you'd spend some classes just opening or closing rings versus full mess weaving. Then when you had time to focus, it would flash together much faster than... Oh, sure. Sure. I understand why people do it. I'm not trying to knock anybody that does, but... Okay. Yeah, we got not a lot done. That's okay. I didn't work on it for very long. When I get a point where I got 5-6 hours to work on it, I'll get in a rhythm and just keep going, you know? So if you do get into chainmail, make sure to get good storage for your rings. I don't have anything that I currently recommend, but actually I should find something and add it to the tools section on the Mailworks app. For, let's see here, my TikTok people, flip this around. Let me show you what we're working on. So the giant flag, it says Finnegans on it. I guess that's backwards to you guys. I know it's difficult to see when you have such a limited, such an angled screen. And we're working on making it so that I can stream from my PC and use my camera equipment here in my home studio where I stream to multiple other platforms using my camera equipment. But I have to get to 10,000 followers on TikTok. So please follow, like, share. Join me as I continue on this quest to use up all the rings that I've got going in my basement that have been here for far too long. But this is the size of the inlay taking up space on my desk, so that's why we have decided to go ahead and finish it. Let's see here. So, others argue they can open 100 rings or open and weave 20, but if all are open, they can weave 50 rings versus 20, so it's more where you choose to spend the time. Some like to waste time making rings versus paying fine folk like you to just make it all. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to have to figure out this invite. Who can invite? I can invite people to come on here. I'll have to find another chain. Oh, who did I just invite? I'm actually leaving. Whoever I just invited, don't come on. So, if you are interested in learning how to make chainmail, please go to the link tree in my bio and check out the Mailworks app. It has a bunch of resources for veteran and new chainmail artists, and it's free. If you have trouble downloading on Google, I'm working to get that resolved. It currently doesn't work with new phones, right, with the new version of Android. So I'm talking with Google to get that done. But if you have an older phone, go download it for your Android, and Apple should be fine. I haven't heard any issues out of them. And it's just a list of resources to help you get started in your chainmail career. And if you feel like supporting the channel, please go to my website. Also in the link tree, it's mailworks.com, where I sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. Please go check it out. Anyway, I will talk to you all later. You all have a wonderful evening. And I don't have a set schedule for streaming. I just come on here when I can and get a little bit of work done. So you all have a wonderful night, and hopefully I'll see you in the future. Bye-bye. Yeah. All right, and for everyone else over on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, please go check out mailworks.com and download the Mailworks app if you so desire. And what else? I'll be back on when I can. You all have